Scrum requires a cross-functional, self-managing Scrum team to produce usable done increments each sprint. For many traditional organizations, enabling this is a significant challenge. In many larger, traditional organizations, people are organized into teams with specialist skill sets. Work is managed and handed off to these specialist teams. Each team has its own culture, practices, standards, and priorities. These teams will work on many different initiatives at the same time. The volume of work will mean that management of the work and the people is essential. Here are some of the challenges that are inherent in this traditional approach. Significant dependencies will arise between teams, which will lead to delays. Specialist teams will seek to optimize their work, which may lead to unnecessary delays at the product level. Specialist teams will manage large work volumes and regularly shift priorities. This is another form of waste. It will be challenging for the people in these teams to feel connected to the end user, customer, and see the value of their work when it is only a tiny part of a more extensive product. When work for one product has been spread to many specialist teams, it will be hard to understand the actual current state of the product. Full testing of the product will be impossible until the work of these teams has been integrated into a cohesive product. Where issues cross-cut several specialist teams, communication may be challenging as people who are unfamiliar with each other and have different goals, motivations, and interests will need to find ways to collaborate. When clear communication is not achieved, an us vs them blame culture may result. Change will be difficult under these conditions. A change in direction for the product may lead to significant waste and frustration as work is abandoned by some teams working ahead of others. Ultimately, transparency will be low, risk will be high, and change will be difficult. The realization of value will be delayed. Developing products under these conditions is difficult and prone to failure. Scrum requires a different approach to mitigate these issues. In Scrum, we have developers with the skills that would have been present in each of these specialist teams. We develop the product iteratively and incrementally rather than as a single large entity. The developers are empowered to manage their work and take responsibility for developing done increments each sprint. This is intended to enable the following benefits: reduced risk through increased transparency and real inspectable progress at regular intervals, giving a clearer picture of what is going on and the current state of the product. Problems can be found earlier and then eliminated over time. Higher quality through regular testing and validation of the product. Earlier value delivery is possible as we can release increments when it makes sense for the customer and the organization. Increased agility as we are working on smaller pieces, which means the cost of changing work not started will be lower. This is vital in complex environments where change is inevitable. Less management of work and people will be required as the volume of work in progress will be lower and, therefore, manageable at a lower cost. Team members will be closer to the customer and stakeholders and have more access to the big picture of the product. This can help to keep motivation levels high as people stay connected to the purpose behind their work. Fewer delays as the scope of work is smaller inside a sprint. If one person gets stuck and needs help from another specialist, the other person will be present in the team and available to deal with the issue sooner and without a formal handoff. Increased and regular collaboration means problems can be solved faster. When we hit a situation that requires 3 people with different skills, it will be faster for them to get together to address the issue. They will already be team members, so they will have relationships and understanding. Their responsibility is joint and shared. Develop a done increment each sprint. Scrum is helping us simplify some elements of complex product development by lowering the volume of people involved, reducing the importance of work in progress, and ensuring we have the skills and experience we may need available at all times inside the Scrum team. The result is fewer dependencies and risks. The benefit is increased motivation and agility. The changes needed inside a traditional organization to create and support cross-functional, self-managing teams may be significant. The Scrum Master will support this transition, which may take time and effort. It requires people to change their identities and ways of working. Do not underestimate the challenge that this may bring. Using Scrum and an empirical approach comes with a short-term cost if it is new to the people involved. As an aside, it is possible to build a product using Scrum and many specialist teams. This is a scaling topic and will be covered later.